Welcome back, Christie Aphrodite of Soul Journeys Radio and MyTrueEssence.net. And yeah, it's been a while, so I'm doing some video catch-up here today. And I'm working on another experiment. I wanted to talk about oil pooling and tooth and gum care here and share with you my experiences. And I know we all hear how great oil pooling is. However, when you start searching, you're going to hear all sorts of different things. Oh, it has to be coconut oil. No, it has to be sunflower oil. No, it has to be sesame oil. And oh, it has to be cold pressed. No, it has to be refined. Oh, it has to be all these other things. And, you know, I've read all these amazing success stories. People with receding gums, like 10 millimeters, and holes in their teeth, and cavities, and, you know, people allegedly healing it. However, I have yet to find one real before and after photo. So, this is kind of an experiment for me, and I will definitely report back, but I'll just say this. My goal is to learn how to regrow my teeth and my gums. And, you know, I'm familiar with some of the other methods. They say eat raw butter or eat raw meat and, you know, weird things like that. That's not for me. And again, while people talk about their success stories, I've never seen any actual evidence of it. So, with that being said, now, and you know, it does make sense if we can, you know, probably most of you know my health history, which was not good. Of course, you know, obviously I found a way to fix it. Simple rule, Mother Nature is smarter than man, period. Of course, you could always go back to my older videos if you want to learn more about that. But if we're able to regenerate organs in our body, organs, tissues, bones, etc., it just makes sense that we should also be able to regenerate, regrow our teeth and our gums. So here we go in Christie's oil pulling experiment. Now, the reason I'm doing this is, well, first of all, dentists suck. Just kidding. Dentists are cool, but they're expensive and they hurt. And, you know, again, I would like to be my own doctor and find a way to handle each of these issues without expensive and slightly barbaric treatments, holes being drilled and teeth being pulled, etc. So I've really been doing a lot of searching and reading on this. I have had tremendous success in all gum, tooth, mouth infections by using essential oils, and I've talked about that in a previous video, and I think I addressed peppermint oil, oregano, clove, lemon, and tea tree, which all work great. They have kept infections, boils, abscesses, everything at bay. But again, my goal here is not just to keep them at bay, but to regrow it. So I have been taking pictures, which, you know, I'm not going to post until I get further along in the experiment. I've only been doing it this week, 4 days. And really, you know, it's not that easy to put oil in your mouth and swish it around for 20 minutes. But, you know, if it works, it's definitely worth it. I want to say, in this week, I have already experienced tremendous benefits from it, and I'll try to show you in some of the pictures that I've taken. But again, you know, once I figure this out, I'll have them all posted in the day by day. I've been taking a little journal of how they feel. In fact, I'll just let you know, 4 days ago, I was experiencing some tremendous pain. One of my teeth was really, really loose, and I couldn't chew without pain. So it's been a smoothie week. However, 2 days later, I ate nuts just to see if I could, and I could. 2 days before that, I tried to take a bite of toast, and that did not work. The day after, okay, so yeah, 2 days later was the pistachios, the nuts, and then I tried nuts again yesterday, and chips for my delicious salsa, and I did it with no pain. So already my tooth feels tighter. no more pain, and if there is an infection or was an infection going on, it is not there now. So I just kind of want to, let me see if I'll just get the webcam and kind of show you what is going on here so you know what oops, except I'm not going to be able to see you, and let's see, we can do it like this, photos, and then I'll move it over here to see what you're seeing. Okay, so let's do this. This, if it opens, is day one. You can see all my teeth. So I am documenting it because, yeah, it was just frustrating that nobody had any before and after pictures. And, you know, I'm having some issues with my teeth. I can't tell you exactly where it's coming from. I know people say, oh, if you, okay, here it is. So I'll show you, make sure I can show you this. Make sure it's getting on the camera here. Let's see, we'll do it like that. Okay, so as you can see, there is an issue right here where there's like a hole and the gums are clearly receding. You can see this in all of these teeth on the bottom right hand side of my mouth. Now that looks really bad. If I walked into a dentist, he'd be like, jackpot. Well, anyways, here's a photo of the following day where you can see right here has already healed up a little, but the hole is still all the way around the tooth. Here you can clearly see. Now, day 3, which was, those the rest of my teeth. I'll show you those. Oops, where did it go? Let me see. How do okay, let me try to find this. Sorry, I don't know how to just show photos like this, but here we go. Get the right photo. Okay, here we go. So in this one, let me see. Can you see it? Try to get it in the frame. Okay, so here, if you look at the back of the tooth, you can clearly see that the gum is, in fact, healing and reattaching itself. You know, this still looks a little bit better. This looks higher, but clearly a lot more work to do. So, hey, let's see if I can get this back on. All right. So, yeah, I have a few issues to deal with. And what's really weird to me, which I don't really understand, is, I mean, I'll show you. All of her teeth, totally normal, no receding gums, no infections, no decay, no anything. Down here, perfectly fine, same thing, white, no infections, no anything. But the whole lower right side of my mouth has issues. So as I was beginning to say, I know where, you know, when there's like tooth issues, people always think it's like someone doing, you know, crack or meth or, you know, not brushing your teeth or things like that. But I believe there's something else involved. What that something else is at the time, I'm not really sure. However, a few ideas popped in my head. I mean, while I avoided street drugs, I took everything the doctors gave me. And a lot of these drugs contain fluoride, which, you know, as well as the tap water. By the way, I grew up with fluoride, where I know a lot of the country didn't start getting it until recently. But, you know, I had a good 30 years of lots of fluoride, plus the fluoride lozenges that dissolve in your mouth that you're supposed to hold right here in your gum, as well as other medications. So that's a possibility. I mean, fluoride is the #1 cause of tooth loss. It's called dental fluorosis, where your teeth get all browned and decayed. In fact, I mean, the stuff can eat holes in your brain. So, of course, it can do damage to your teeth and your gums. So that's a possibility. You know, my eating, yeah, in the past, it was bad. Not that bad. I was never like a fast food junkie or anything like that. You know, I've always brushed. I have always had sensitive teeth. ever since I can remember, from the time I was a child. I mean, I remember going to soccer practice, softball practice, and, you know, they'd have the big coolers of Gatorade or water or whatever, and styrofoam cups. Ooh, to this, I mean, I wouldn't even try to drink out of a styrofoam cup today, but even when I was a child, I would take a drink and I'd have all these pains shoot right up to my brain and down in my jaw. I like felt it get absorbed like in the tips of my teeth. Really weird. Always super sensitive. In fact, I could never drink a glass of anything with ice in it, because if the ice would hit my teeth, I would get that same pain, or super hot beverages. So it's kind of been, you know, I've avoided that my whole life. If I do have cold, I normally drink room temperature, but if I do have something cold or something with ice in it, then I have a straw. And anything warm, you know, like coffee or tea, I always kind of let it get lukewarm so I don't cause any pain. I have asked, when I used to go to doctors and dentists, I always brought that up. And there was never any solution. Of course, I also, I've never had any dental work or major dental work per se. However, when I was, you know, modeling and, you know, growing up as a teenager, it was just kind of the thing to do. Everybody gets a retainer, everybody gets braces, everybody gets all of their wisdom teeth pulled, and everybody does tooth whitening and bleaching, which, you know, I did do a lot of those treatments up until my 20s, I guess. So, yeah, that's my experience and my background with my teeth. So I just want to share with you things that, or my progress, I guess I kind of already showed you during pictures, which is phenomenally, like, mind-boggling. I'm super, super happy and super, super pleased. But I do plan on this being a very long-term thing, as I said before. If any of the success stories of oil pulling are real, the ones that kind of compare to what I'm dealing with, you know, they were doing it every day for a minimum of 6 months. And anyway, so that's my plan. It's probably going to be a year-long project. But anyways, to keep infections at bay, you know, you might want to watch my other video, because I don't want to talk too in-depth about that in this video. I just want it to be about my experience and the oil pulling. But again, lemon, oregano, clove, tea tree, also eucalyptus is awesome. Peppermint and myrrh is another one that's really good. Of course, I know how to keep infections at bay and kill them and get rid of them. My goal is to completely regrow it, which you can kind of see is already starting to happen, and I'll definitely keep you all updated with my progress on that. But H2O2 has been really, really helpful. There's also other things that you can use, like baking soda. In fact, somebody brought up in one of the groups I'm in on Facebook that she healed her teeth with borax. I have not looked into it or done it myself, so I don't know. It's just an option you may want to look into. When it comes to oil pulling itself, being that there are so many different, you know, there's a lot of advice out there of how you should be doing it, and what oil you should be using. I'm using right now coconut oil. I intend on using coconut, sesame, and sunflower for like 2 or 3 week periods at a time, documenting it like I am with photos and, you know, keeping my journal how they feel, to see if one oil really is better than the rest. But you know, I love sunflower oil and sesame oil. They're good. I just happened to start with coconut oil, which we know, you know, it's famous for its antibacterial, antiseptic, you know, antifungal properties. So that's what I'm starting with, and essential oils. And I'm switching with 20 minutes, which, you know, again, is kind of hard to do. However, I've decided, well, why not make it a meditation time, right? You know, it's hard for me to go in the shower without, you know, accidentally swallowing something, or, you know, it would be so easy for me to spit it out. I know a lot of people recommend just doing it in the shower, but that's not going to work for me. You know, it's just, it is what it is. So I just decided to find some time in the afternoon or even the evening when everything is quiet and use that time as my meditation. And during that oil pulling meditation, I'm actually visualizing my gums growing back and my teeth growing roots, regrowing roots. So I don't know, that might be helpful for you. Also, when you do have any pain or anything, I may have showed this in a previous video, but this is peppermint oil, which totally takes the pain away almost instantly. Just rub it on, just straight, just like that. Of course, make sure you have a pure, good quality oil. You don't want to probably, you know, get stuff from the drugstore and then take it internally, or at least I wouldn't. This oregano oil is like intense, so you may want to mix it if you rub the oregano oil on it, because it is hardcore. I'm afraid if I put some on it right now, I probably wouldn't be able to finish a video, but maybe I will, because if I do have a hard time, then you'll see how hardcore it is. I'll put the links, by the way, of where I get these particular oils, but you know, oregano, of course, antibiotic, antibacterial, antifungal, all of these oils. And, you know, some people mentioned, oh, well, my abscess is below the teeth. You can't actually get to it. And the essential oils, whew, yeah, oregano, whew, okay, the essential oils are transdermal, meaning you don't have to actually touch wherever the hole or infection, even if it is buried into your jawbone or something. You can actually get to it from in or outside your mouth. Transdermal meaning it can penetrate every layer of skin, not just, you know, the first one or maybe the top 3 or subcutaneous. You know, you want to get down there and treat the organ. It will kill everything. In fact, a recent success story, one of my friends had a huge abscess tooth, big infection, came on really strong, and with that, he ended up with a big boil on his face. And poor thing was like so swollen, his whole face, it was pushed over like this, and totally swollen. So 2 days of him using oils and some cleansing tea, you know, dandelion, red clover, some nettles, alfalfa, echinacea. He was completely healed. Infection gone, abscess gone, and the boil gone. And of course he was worried, oh my God, I'm going to have a scar, this big boil, and I even picked it, okay? Or picked it, squeezed it, just, yeah, I got shot in the eye twice, by the way. It was a big one. So, anyways, totally gone, like it never even happened. And so that's what I've been doing to keep any pain, infection, or anything at bay. Again, though, my goal is to completely regrow it. So if you have any experience oil pulling, whether it's for cavities or tooth decay or receding gums or, you know, gingivitis or any other, you know, gum disease that you want to label, I would really love to hear about it. If you have before and after pictures, even better. And I know it's kind of embarrassing to take picture of a corroded tooth in your mouth, but I mean, it is what it is, and if it can help people, I'm totally all for that. I mean, I'm totally blown away that the whole back of the tooth, the gum, has already grown back. I really expect within the next year for this to be as healthy as the rest of my teeth. So, I don't know. And maybe if you have any ideas why it would just be on the lower right side while the rest of my teeth and gums are perfect, I would really like to hear your views and, you know, maybe your experiences, something you've learned. But, you know, ultimately I just, yeah, maybe I could go get a job and, you know, have enough money to go to the dentist and have them all yanked and have fakies put in, but I've never met anyone who has been happy with that long term. You know, I do have friends that have to take out their teeth to eat certain things, or just to be comfortable, they have to put them in to eat certain things, or just, I don't want to do that. And if I can avoid it, I'm going to. I mean, heck, I was able to cure myself of cancer and diabetes and lupus and strokes and seizures and, heal my kidneys, which, by the way, I used to have to wear Depends. I had lost my kidney function. I had lost my vision. In fact, I used to have to wear glasses, but I regenerated that too. So if I can regenerate my kidneys and, everything else going on in my body, why not my teeth? Sounds good to me. So I just wanted to let you know again, if you are going through these issues and maybe want to try it with me, go for it. But some of the essential oils you might want to look into are definitely peppermint, which I like. Peppermint Jim, I think it's the best. This oregano oil is Sacred Medicine Sanctuary. Again, I'll put the links down below. Eucalyptus has been really good. Tea tree, myrrh. What am I forgetting? Tea tree, myrrh, lemon, and, there's another one. I forgot it. Oh well, we'll have to go back and watch the video. I know I mentioned it earlier. So anyways, I also have been finding out that brushing with clay, like a bentonite clay or a charcoal, is also good at removing toxins. Now, in the oil pulling, I want to tell you about an experience I had the first time I did it this week, which to me kind of shows that it probably is working. They tell you do not want to swallow it because it'll pick up, half-grown bacteria and parasites, and, that's the whole point, is to kind of absorb it and then spit it out, swish your mouth out with water, etc. Don't spit, don't swallow, okay? So I thought that I had not swallowed any, but I may have, I was tasting a little bit of coconut oil in my throat, so I may have accidentally swallowed some my first time. What happened about 20 or 30 minutes after my first time doing this is a huge, kind of a mild throbbing headache. My heart rate slowed. It was like pre-stroke symptoms. And I know this because I've had strokes before, so that's what it felt like to me. I was super, super weak. I couldn't even get up to take my dog out. Here, walking to my door is maybe 30 feet, and I collapsed 7 times trying to get to the door and back. So maybe I swallowed some accidentally, and the toxins just did not agree with my system. I do have to say I've been more careful these last few times, and I haven't had any of those symptoms. And truthfully, I don't really know if any of it's related or not, but I think so because I don't feel things like that lightheadedness and, this low heart rate where I just felt like, I don't know, like I was floating. I felt kind of like, I guess I was on drugs or something. But anyway, so that cleared up. I finally made it to bed, and, the next day I'm like, damn, do I do this again? And it's like, yep, I'm going to do it because there has to be a way, and I'm going to find the way. So anyways, I just want to warn you, if you are going to do it, don't swallow it. And I know even when we think we're not swallowing, I mean, it's going to help. When you have something in your mouth, the saliva produces a little more rapidly than it would, say, right now when I'm talking. And I think it's just natural for some to just fall back there. So you'll just have to find a comfortable position for your tongue or whatever to do it. Spit it out really well, and then you can rinse with maybe a salt water using sea salt, preferably. Of course, that is just my opinion, but I stay away from white iodized salt myself. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to implement some Fucoidan, some brown seaweed in Modifilan, because that's been known to regenerate, literally regrow brand new thyroids, brand new kidneys, brand new livers. Of course, there was pieces of it in there. It didn't just miraculously grow one out of thin air. But it is known to regenerate, your organs, tissues, and regrow adult stem cells. So it is something I take, but I was wondering maybe I'll just, rub it on here just to see. But I think I covered everything. Yeah, Mir, gum resin is really good. You know, I've been going to sleep with that on my gums. Let's see, we talked about baking soda, essential oils, coconut oil. Okay, so by the end of the next week, then I'll start my sesame oil experiment and report back. But I'll definitely keep you updated on the healing of my gums. And just do me a favor and save your emails, your fearful emails. I mean, I understand you care about me and everything, but I'm not going to be scared into going to a dentist, period. Number one, I don't have the money. Number two, I'm not going to go get a job just to make the money so that I can go spend it on some barbaric treatment, removing stuff and putting fake stuff in. I'm not going to do it, and I take full responsibility for my health. So let's say I do get an infection and die or whatever, then that was my choice. So while I do appreciate your concern, it's just kind of, it's something I want to do. It's kind of against my religion, so to speak. And I like the whole self-sufficiency thing and being my own doctor. So this is what I'm choosing to do. However, if you do have any advice or any success stories, if you healed your teeth, your gums, or anything else, I would totally love to know. Just, yeah, no fear, like, go to the dentist, you're in trouble, you're going to die. No, I'm not. But anyways, thank you for listening. I think I covered everything I meant to. And yeah, I will see you next time doing the update on my teeth and hopefully show you even some more healing. Woohoo! All right, have a good day. Bye.